Okay, so let's get to the latest on the Donald Trump trial. I believe this is day 13. So, today Stormy Daniels testified. Oh, what fun. Anyway, let's just get right to the article. With Donald Trump sitting just feet away, Stormy Daniels testified Tuesday at the former president's hush money trial about a sexual encounter the porn actors say they had in 2006 that resulted in her being paid to keep silent during the presidential race 10 years later. Jurors appeared riveted as Daniels offered a detailed and at times graphic account of the encounter Trump has denied. And anyone who even watched a little bit, even an excerpt of her 60 Minutes interview, no, she went into really, really great detail. To the point where I'm like, did we really need to know that? Trump stared, blah, 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 I can talk. Trump stared straight ahead when Daniels entered the courtroom, later whispering to his lawyers and shaking his head as she testified. The testimony was by far the most awaited spectacle in a trial that had toggled between tabloid-esque elements and dry record-keeping details. A courtroom appearance by a porn actor who says she had an intimate encounter with a former American president added to the long list of historic firsts in a landmark case laden with claims of sex, payoffs, and cover-ups, and unfolding as the presumptive Republican nominee makes another bid for the White House. Daniels veered into salacious details despite the repeated objections of defense lawyers, who demanded a mistrial over what they said were prejudicial and irrelevant comments. That's not a basis for a mistrial. I mean, you have a problem with a witness, you can object to, say, a line of questioning or something. There are ways. A mistrial is not for that. Now, if her lawyers were were displaying certain behavior, then I could see it, but the witness actually testifying, no. Even if there's details that probably you never want to hear and it's seared into your brain now, still not a basis for mistrial. This is the kind of testimony that makes it impossible to come back from, Attorney Todd Blanche said. How can we come back from this in a way that's fair to President Trump? Well, that's kind of your job to do. The fact that she gave damning testimony is not her fault or the fault of the prosecution. It's the fault of Trump for doing this shit. And if this is what you're saying, then how can we come back from this? You are basically admitting that this is bombshell testimony and that it's true. Not that, because if it wasn't true, you could come back from that. But the fact that you're basically saying, yeah, we give up, we can't counter that, that's on you. That is totally on you. The judge rejected the request, shocking, and said defense lawyers should have raised more objections during the testimony. Like I just said, how is it that I know more than a supposed lawyer? Jesus Christ. I should not know more about this than they do. Trump team later in the day used its opportunity to question Daniels to paint her as motivated by personal animus and profiting off her claims against President Trump. Am I correct that you hate President Trump? Defense lawyer Susan Nashels asked Daniels. Yes, she acknowledged. Okay, there are a lot of people who hate him. So, Daniel's statements are central to the case because in the final weeks of Trump's 2016 Republican presidential campaign, his then lawyer and personal fixer, Michael Cohen, paid her $130,000 to keep quiet about what she said was an awkward and unexpected sexual encounter with Trump in July 2006 at a celebrity golf outing in Lake Tahoe. Trump has pleaded not guilty. Led by a prosecutor's questioning, Daniels described how an initial meeting at a golf tournament where they discussed the adult film industry progressed to a brief sexual encounter that she said Trump initiated after inviting her to dinner and back to his hotel suite. And based on what she said previously, she kind of expected what was going to come next. Apparently, this is something that happens as if you're a porn actor. Anyway, if she said she didn't feel physically or verbally threatened, though, let me try that again. She said she didn't feel physically or verbally threatened, though she knew his bodyguard was just outside the suite. There was also what she perceived as an imbalance of power. Trump was bigger and blocking the way, she said. Wait a minute. Isn't that rape then? Huh. I'm surprised that that wasn't brought up. But okay. At the time, Trump was married to his wife Melania, who has not been in court for the trial. Gee, I can't imagine why. Daniels said Trump told her they did not sleep in the same room, prompting him to shake his head at the defense table. You know, it's entirely possible that that was just a lie. Or it could be true. Who knows? I mean, you're trying to bed a woman, so it's possible that he certainly has shown he's good at lying. So whether he was telling the truth then, or I'm trying to cover it up now, who knows? But based on some of the interactions he had with Melania, I would have no problem believing that. After it ended, Daniels said, it was really hard to get my shoes because my hands were shaking so hard. So, rape. He said, oh, it was great. Let's get together again, honey bunch. Daniels said, I just wanted to leave. Okay, based on what I saw of the 60 Minutes interview, her reaction wasn't so rapey. But, like I said, I only saw snippets, so... Anyway, in the years since the encounter was disclosed, Daniels has emerged as a vocal Trump antagonist, sharing her story innumerable times and criticizing the former president with mocking and pejorative tabs. There was no precedent for Tuesday's testimony when she came face to face with Trump and was asked under oath in an austere courtroom to describe her experiences to a jury weighing whether to convict a former American president of felony crimes for the first time in history. Why is nobody bringing up that what she's describing is the definition of rape? Seriously. She did not want to have sex with him. She felt like she had to. How is that not considered rape? She told jurors how she met Trump because the adult film studio she worked for at the time sponsored one of the holes on the golf course. She said they had a brief conversation when Trump's group passed through, chatting about the adult film industry and her directing abilities. I didn't know she did that, okay. The celebrity real estate developer remarked that she must be the smart one if she was making films, Daniels recalled. What a way to scream that you have no respect for porn stars, or porn actors for that matter. But then again, does he really respect anyone unless they 100% agree with them, and maybe not even then? Later, in an area known as the gift room, where celebrity golfers collected gift bags and swag, Trump remembered her as the smart one and asked her to dinner, Daniels said. She said that her then publicist suggested in a phone call that Trump's invitation was a good excuse to skip a work dinner would make a great story and perhaps help her career. What could possibly go wrong, she recalled the publicist saying. Yeah, famous last words. The two saw each other periodically in the ensuing years when she said she spurred Trump's advances. Well, it's good that she was able to do it at least sometimes, if not that first time. In 2011, several years after she and Trump were last in touch, she said she learned from her agent that the story of her encounter with Trump had made its way to a magazine. She said she agreed to an interview for $15,000 because I'd rather make the money than somebody make money off of me, and at least I could control the narrative. The story never ran, but later that year she was alarmed when an item turned up on a website. Perhaps seeking to preempt defense claims that she was in urgent need of a massive payout, Daniels testified that she was in the best financial shape of her life when she authorized her manager to shop her story during the 2016 presidential campaign. She said she had no intent of approaching Cohen or Trump to have them pay her. My motivation wasn't money, she said. It was to get the story out, she testified. But Nichels zeroed in on that point, pressing Daniels on the fact that she owes Trump hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees stemming from an unsuccessful defamation lawsuit, and that she tweeted in 2022 that she will go to jail before I pay a penny. That was me saying I will not pay for telling the truth, Daniels testified Tuesday. She later forcefully denied that she was trying to squeeze Trump for money. You were looking to extort money from President Trump, Nichels said. False, Daniels responded. Well, that's what you did, the lawyer said. False, Daniels answered. Daniels was expected to return to the witness stand Thursday when the trial resumes. Testimony so far has made clear that at the time of the payment to Daniels, Trump and his campaign were reeling from the October 2016 publication of the never-before-seen 2005 Access Hollywood footage in which he boasted about grabbing women's genitals without their permission. Before the video was made public, there was very little, if any, interest in Daniels' claims, according to testimony earlier in the trial from her then lawyer Keith Davidson. A deal was reached with the National Enquirer for Daniels' story, but the tabloid backed out. Davidson began negotiating with Cohen directly, hiking up the price to $130,000, and reached a deal. After the deadline for the $130,000 payment from Cohen came and went, she authorized Davidson to cancel the deal. He did by email, according to documents shown in court, but about 2 weeks later, the deal was revived. Daniels testified that she ended up with about $96,000 of the $130,000 payment after her lawyer and agent got their cuts. She also said she was steadfast in abiding by her non-disclosure agreement with Cohen, declining to comment to the Wall Street Journal for a November 2016 story that reported she had been in discussions to tell her story on Good Morning America, but that nothing had come of it. She also declined to comment for the newspaper before it broke the news of her hush money arrangement in 2018. After the story was published, her life turned into chaos, she testified. I was front and foremost everywhere, she recalled. Prosecutors are building toward their star witness Cohen, who pleaded guilty to federal charges related to the hush money payments. Trump is charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in connection with the payments. The trial is the first of his 4 criminal cases to reach a jury. So that's all I have on that article. I also read that she didn't want the story out. She was perfectly fine with killing the story. She didn't want it to, because she got married, she had a kid, and she didn't want that to ruin her relationship. Which, all I can say is, considering the stereotype of porn stars, which probably was why Donald Trump felt that, he was entitled to sex or something, that he could get sex from her and that she'd be perfectly fine with it, because apparently porn stars are just glorified prostitutes or something. I don't know. But, I doubt that he would think badly of her. I mean, especially since what she described in the courtroom was rape. So why would her husband think badly of her? He wouldn't. If he was a good guy, he wouldn't. Because, again, she didn't have much choice. I mean, yes, she went to dinner with him, but she didn't expect to, what happened to happen, probably. So, unlike what it sounded like on her 60 Minutes interview, maybe she was a victim. That he just didn't let her leave. And so she just was like, okay, well, might as well get it over with because I'm not getting out of here. But that's still rape. Because she didn't intend to have sex with him. He made it so she felt she couldn't get out of it. And it surprises me that nobody is using that word. I mean, yes, she is a porn actress, but that shouldn't mean that she's not capable of being raped. She's very capable of being raped. That is just stupid. And like I said, I don't know why nobody is bringing up that fact. They have no problem bringing up that fact about E. Jean Carroll. And what little details I've heard was lesser than what Trump did with Stormy, or about the same. And they have no problem calling that sexual assault, but nobody says that about Stormy Daniels. And I really think it's because she was a porn actress. If she had done literally anything else but porn, well, or be a prostitute, but porn, she probably would have, someone probably would have brought this up by now. But yeah, she's a porn actor, so let's not even discuss the fact that she felt like she couldn't get out of it, that she had to do it. How is that not rape? So, anyway, that is all I have for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.